Good evening, everyone. I'm Nathan, here with my wonderfully grapey wife, Laura.
Hello.
And we're here to do a review of the brand new The Grape Escape game.
Yes, so there is an older version of this, which we have a review of up on the channel if you want to go check that one out.
I think it was like low 90s, 1990s sometime it came out, or late 80s.
Yeah, and then I spotted this. It is different to the original Grape Escape in a couple of ways with the contraptions in the game. You'll know what I mean if you've seen that review. But this one's actually from the makers of Play-Doh, so it's a little bit more licensed, I suppose.
The original one just had, they called it play compound or modelling something or other.
Well, funnily enough, they actually refer to it as compound in this one as well instead of Play-Doh, which is interesting given it's from the makers of Play. I don't know, but this is a new version, so maybe if, you've been wanting the old Grape Escape, maybe this is a way of having something close to it.
Because the old one's actually fairly expensive to find these days.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen that, well, I mean, go watch it, obviously, but if you haven't, you play as a, Play-Doh compound figure.
Which you make yourself, of course.
Yep, you are a grape, hence the Grape Escape, and you want to get out of the jam factory instead of being made into jam.
And pretty much whoever gets out of the factory first wins. So you get to the end, avoid getting squished or squashed or cut in half, and you win.
Yep. So we have not played this version yet. We've had a quick look at the instructions. These will be linked via the board game instruction link down below, just in case in the future you find this without the instructions. But that is all we've done, so we haven't put it together or anything, so we're sharing our first look with you.
If it was significantly different, we would have played beforehand, but the instructions and the look and all that look very similar.
It's a pretty easy game to pick up and play. So we have 4 little tubs of the Grape Escape compound, aka Play-Doh, essentially. We've got a yellow, I guess this is meant to be the red, although it's pretty pale in real life.
Green and purple, so obviously you can play with 4 players.
Yep. Oh no, I dropped one of them.
Not the compound.
Alright, so these are only little tubs. And then there's a little bit inside.
And it's nice and fresh.
Feels squishy.
Farm fresh Play-Doh.
No. Oh no.
We'll deal with that later.
Yeah, we'll get that out shortly.
So all the pieces come in like a plastic bag these days. Just
paper.
Paper
bag. I can see we have... Oh, we'll get that out. Sorry about the noise. I was going to say we have a unique dye. It's not a white one. It's kind of a purple colour.
It's because
is really light plastic.
The same colour as a grape. Here's our little modelling one. Put a bit of Play-Doh in there. You pop them out, and then you've got your grape that needs to escape.
Yep. So we will do that and show you that up close. Otherwise, it looks like we've got a boot.
We have a saw.
We have like a, what do they call it? Meat cleaver?
Meat cleaver sort of thing. It looks like some grinders or something. Oh,
I think these are our parts that connect them to the board, actually.
And here's our launcher, where we launch our grape to escape the factory.
Yeah, so you actually want that one. And then like a, what do they call, like a potato ricer?
Yeah, that's sort of...
Yeah, I don't know what they're called. Someone can let us know. Alright, let's have a look at the board. So the gameplay itself is pretty basic. So the spaces on the board, you'll note, don't have a heap of complicated stuff on them either. You start on the start space. Wow, what a shock. And you want to get all the way around to the end here and be launched out to safety. Because you don't want to be jam. Nobody wants to be jam.
I do like jam. We don't really have a lot of grape jam here in Australia though, do we?
No, grape is not a flavour of jam we have. Alright.
Shall we go through the spaces?
Yeah, so on the board, like I said, not a lot of spaces, there's a lot of blank ones. You have these die spaces, and they just have another roll and keep moving.
These ones that go around, they're like a restart or a checkpoint space, so if you do happen to get squashed or mauled, you go back to the nearest one behind wherever you had your tragedy strike.
I love that, wherever your tragedy struck. Alright, we have switch places, which are these green arrows. Looks like there's not a great deal of those on the board.
So you can choose to switch place with someone, but it is optional.
Yes, you don't have to do that. We also have, if you land on these spaces with the big purple arrow with this green sort of stripy look behind it, is a go back. You just follow the arrow back.
You don't want those.
No, and the last one is our wild grape.
So you can send any player to the, what do they call zones?
The next station.
In other words...
That's not what they're called, is it?
No, it's like a jamming zone or something.
Yeah, the next jam zone. So these stripy places are the jam zones.
Which is basically you get squished.
Or cut, or whatever it
And
may
then
be.
you go back to the nearest checkpoint. So very good, but there's only, what, 2 of these spaces on the board, so...
Yeah. Alright, so there is some assembly you probably noticed. So this one that you're holding is the Grape Escape Mighty Masher.
Of course.
It looks like they just have to clip in to these green bits and then they just kind of move. So totally different contraption design
Yeah,
to
so
the other
the
Grape
original one
Escape.
had a whole bunch of rubber bands and cogs and gears and things. This is a lot less complex.
It was also more one chunk in the middle of the board. These are kind of individual stations.
So they're all color-coded. So that should be here and then...
Very handy. Yep.
Right.
Make sure you have it the right way. It faces the inside of the board.
There we go.
Other way. Other way. It faces that way.
Ah, well, yes, because they're not going to get squashed on the other one. There we go.
Yeah.
This comes off very easily, by the way.
Oh no.
So just be careful.
I wonder if that's to, you know, so like you can put it away because the box is not actually very big. It's one of those little square ones.
No, the old Milton Bradley one was quite a long, chunky box, wasn't it?
Oh.
Yeah, it only goes on one way. I think the
Yeah.
dots on the side, mate. No.
There's a line here where it like can't go further past, so it's got to be that way to chop.
So here's the. This is the escape? Is it?
Yes.
So that goes.
Yes, it is.
In. Oh, you sure?
Well, yes.
I can't seem to get to go in there. Made a bit of a weird
Yeah,
angle.
it's got to face out of the board though. You've got it around the wrong way. I think that's the issue. So you've got to kind of like hook them in and then like slide them so that they lock into the board.
Oh, there we go.
This is, I mean, any games like this with kind of the physical parts, they're always more likely to get damaged, unfortunately.
Game of Life and all the buildings and mountain
I mean, already
paths and all.
just trying to put that in, all this cardboard's come up here. I think you should put that in. I shouldn't be responsible. I think I've got it around the wrong way, actually.
You did indeed. Gee, 3 out of 3. There we
So
go.
this one is our Grape Escape Big Chopper. Oh, it doesn't go back up. It feels like it should like bounce back up after you chop, but no.
Alright, then we have the...
That is the Grape Escape Slice and Dicer.
What do you think it does?
I think it might slice and dice. And our last one here is the Grape Escape Super Stomper. Hence, you know, the boot. We're going to get stomped on. I'm going to let you put that on just so I don't,
Beautiful.
you know, I don't damage anything.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're not going to do a playthrough because it's fairly simple gameplay, but we will show you
How they get destroyed on the
Yes.
4 different traps.
Alright, so we get some green out. I'm going to put it in here.
Yeah, make that great.
Squeeze it. Squeeze it. Get rid of the excess. Don't need that.
And then we have a almost perfectly shaped little grape.
His eyes are perhaps not as rounded as they're supposed to
He'll
be.
be fine.
You have to be fairly gentle. Obviously, it is just like dough, so... There he is. He looks absolutely horrified.
Well, wouldn't you having to go through this factory?
That's true. Alright, I'm going to try this one here. So if I was to land on this space, you have to do this to yourself, by the way. So if I'm moving along, I've landed in the, what's it called? The jam zone.
I think in the original, the other player got to squash them or something.
Yeah, from memory, yep. Alright, then we push it down and, oh
Done.
no. He's in pieces. So if that happens to you in the game, you just take your dough.
And then you also go back to the nearest checkpoint space, which is just here. They're usually in front of each of like the
jam zones.
Yes.
Yeah. So you would just remake. I did not do a good job of that, but you would remake, go back to that restart space.
Then it'll be the next player's turn, then
Yep.
you've got to go and try and get past it.
Yep, go there from your next.
I'm going to do this one.
turn.
What's this one called again?
This was our Mighty Masher. Alright, squish. I feel like that's more satisfying than the big chopper.
Mash.
You've pulled it apart though.
Mash. Mash. Oh,
Well, that is coming apart everywhere.
that's...
That's diced it more than that one,
Yeah, it
even
has,
though that's
hasn't
called
it?
the slice and dicer.
Alright, well, that grape is no more.
Alright.
A bit of him you missed.
Don't leave him behind. You really need maybe like slightly more dough than you actually need for the piece, otherwise
Because
it
you
doesn't.
fill it in, and you always seem to, even though it was perfectly shaped, you put that same
no.
amount of dough in there. And it doesn't.
Got no eyes.
Well, he won't need them. That's fine.
Yeah, he won't see it coming. Alright.
You can do the boot.
I am going to do the boot.
This big stomper also.
Super stomper. Are we ready?
Stomp it.
Stomp. Oh, he's stuck to it. Or the boot's stuck to it, I should say.
Yep.
He looks like a grill.
He looks like a delicious grilled Krabby Patty.
Ready to be grilled. Or has been grilled. I don't know. Alright.
And then we've just got the slice and dicer.
We also need to launch one of them.
It says on the front of the box, do not launch at eyes.
Because that would have been my first thought.
Do not aim at eyes or face. To avoid injuries, use only projectiles designed for this product. Do not modify projectiles or projectile launcher. And what's weird, that's a sticker that's been stuck on after it's manufactured. So I wonder if that's like an Australian thing or something.
Possibly. Here you go. If you would like to slice and dice with the slice and dicer. Turn a little bit. Oh, you really have to make sure he's in the right spot for that one, don't you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Mighty Masher and the, was it Stomp?
Super Stomper.
I don't remember. Super Stomper are probably the most satisfying to like crush.
Oh, you want to race thing or should we just launch?
We'll just launch him as is. So you obviously need a bit of room. We've got our backdrop, so he's not going to actually go very far.
Did you? Oh, you want me to launch?
Yep, you can launch if you want. Just pull it down and let go, and boom, there he goes. That's pretty fun. I mean, it's an interesting way to end the game, I guess. But you wouldn't want to play that on carpet and then like launch.
Absolutely
your
not.
piece out. Yeah, you might end up destroying your
So
carpet.
what do I think about this one compared to the original? The original one had more of a mousetrap feel. There was a lot more pieces to put together, and there was a lot more. You spun a cog, which spun something, which did this, which eventually crushed them.
Yeah.
Where this one, I mean, you get the same effect. You get a squash or destroyed grape, but it all feels a bit more plain.
It is. I like it. I think, like I said, if you don't have the original Grape Escape, this one's obviously more accessible. Target in Australia is selling these right now, and I'm sure there are other stores where it's available as well. I think it was less than $30, maybe $25, $29, somewhere around there.
And apart from like the traps just being a bit more basic, the gameplay is pretty much identical to the original one. So
yeah, the idea is just to escape.
I think a lot of kids would enjoy it.
Our kids will.
I think
they'll enjoy crushing and squishing. Unless they're getting crushed and squished and sliced, then they might not be so happy.
And it's all fun and games until a grape gets squished.
Yeah, so I think it's still a fun game. But yeah, if you do have the original, that's obviously going to be your better place to play.
Preferred. Yeah.
Yeah. If you enjoyed watching this video, give us a thumbs up. Let us know in the comment section down below if you have this one or the old one, or maybe both, and which one do you like better if you have played both.
I still prefer Splat in terms of Play-Doh based games.
That's a good one too. I think that's up on the channel as well.
It is.
Yeah. Hit that subscribe button and check back soon. We have videos every single Tuesday.
Sounds good.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.